I would like to speak. Yehuda, I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry about that. We missed you last week. There was some wrong kind of a post. But anyways, I'd like to speak a little bit about Shabbos Chol Hamoed and Shabbos Chol Hamoed Pesach in particular. And I found this year an answer to a question that's been bothering me for a long time. Why do we start off the laning of tomorrow with the end of the Chet of the Ego? We start off with the end of the Chet of the Ego, then we move into the Chagim. They could have found some way to divide up this the Chagim by themselves. Why did we want to speak about the end of the Chet of the Ego? This is a question which I'd like to offer a answer to based on some of the Mefarshim. The Reb Sadia Goin brought in the tour tells us the reason why we lane the Haftorah tomorrow of Atzamos Yeveshos, which has to do with the bones of those people who wanted to leave Mitzrayim early, or those that died in Mitzrayim and were not zecher to the Geula, and somehow or another they were brought back to Eretz Yisrael, brought back into the fold. And the Navi asks HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, could these bones come alive? He says, these bones, how could these bones come alive? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes a nest, and the bones reconnect. And the question is, what, he didn't believe in Tchias HaMesim? Obviously, he believed in Tchias HaMesim. So the Sfarim HaKadoshim tell us the reason why those bones, he felt, couldn't come back alive is because they are Atzamos Yeveshos. They were actually dry, that they didn't have any lachluchis of mitzvahs, any lachluchis of observance of Torah. And how could they, without any schusim on their own, come back? That was a question which the Navi had, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, no, they can come back. How did they come back? So the Gemara tells us, Chazal tell us that they came back b'schus Chanani Mishol Ba'azariah. The Chanani Mishol Ba'azariah were Moiser Nefesh, and their Mesiras Nefesh brought a Kedushin to Klal Yisrael that spread itself out even to those who normally were not observant, that they should become observant, and they were able to become Atzamos Lachluchis and come back together and become part of the fold. This is the reason why we have the Atzamos Yeveshos that we discuss on the laning tomorrow in the Haftarah. But what about the question that I start off with? What about the Aveira of the Chet HaEgel? We start off in such a funny place. At the end, we don't speak about the Chet HaEgel. We speak about Moshe Rabbeinu asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Areinu Nos Kvodecha, I want to see your glory. And you would think that at this time, after Klal Yisrael did an Aveira, the last thing that one would do is ask for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but speak for a favor, some kind of a perk. This is not the time to get a perk. This is the time to lower your head down. What was Moshe Rabbeinu asking for this Hareini Nos Kvodecha specifically at this time? This is the question which has been puzzling me for many years. And this year I saw an answer that I'd like to share with you. We know that there's a concept of B'makom she tzadikim b'gabali tshuva oivdim ein tzadikim gemurim yecholim lamod. We understand that there's also a mile of a tzaddik omer, there's a mile of a bal tshuva, and each has their own place. What happened b'leil haseder? Leil haseder, Klal Yisrael was thrown out of Mitzrayim by the grace of HaKadosh Baruch Hu because they were sinking to the lowest of madregas, and then they saw the light, so to speak, and they were infused with an unbelievable amount of kedusha, and they left Mitzrayim. The Sfarim HaKadoshim tell us that that was a matana from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that level of kedusha which they received. Right after they lost it, and the period of Sfiras HaOmer comes into play, and we have to acquire that which we were given as a matana. This is a parallel to that which baby is born. Before he is born, he learns with a malach. He learns Kol HaTorah Kula, and then before he leaves, Satra Aponov, and he forgets all the Torah. He's born, and then he has to reattach himself to that Torah which he learned beforehand. First, we get it as a matana, and then we have an opportunity, a work to do in order to get that which we were given as a matana. Now we've seen the light. We know where we're supposed to get to. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the opportunity to reach that level of Kedusha all by ourselves. The Marit writes that Shabbos that falls out on Yontif, that Shabbos Chol Hamoed has an extra Kedusha. He doesn't explain the Kedusha that it has. However, I would like to suggest something and bring that which we've said together. The difference between Shabbos and Yontif, the Ramban writes in a sefer which is accredited to the Ramban, is seen with the following halachic difference. After Shabbos, we make Havdalah on Besamim. After Yontif, we don't make Havdalah on Besamim. Why should there be a difference? Why should it be that Shabbos we have Besamim and Yontif we don't? Says the Ramban that the difference between Shabbos and Yontif is Shabbos is Kiva V'Kaimei and Yontif is Mekadesh Yisrael Ba'Zmanim. Meaning, Shabbos is given by God. Shabbos exists. You just have to attach yourself to that which is given. Whereas Yontif, which has to do with the Kriyas HaChodesh, which has to do with the work of Klal Yisrael, Mekadesh Yisrael Ba'Zmanim, that Klal Yisrael becomes Kodesh in the Zmanim. And therefore, the Kedusha that one gets on the Chag, a person can take it with him into the week, into the year. Whereas Shabbos, it's wrestled away from the person on Motzei Shabbos, and he's back to where he was on Friday, so to speak. So the reason why there's Besamim on Motzei Shabbos is because the Neshama Yisera left us. Whereas on Yontif, we have the ability to take that Neshama Yisera with us through the week. So our Neshama, our Neshama, we don't feel the loss of the Neshama, and therefore we don't need Besamim. Yontif, this Yontif in particular, Leil HaSeder, we were given an unbelievable matana, a blitz of Kedusha, of Tahira, of understanding of who HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, to the point that we are on the Madrega of Har Sinai. Then it's taken away from us. We have the Sphira period in order to achieve that level on our own. We're like the Baal Tshuva. We've lost it. We've lost it. We've lost it, but we have the opportunity, we have the ability to get it back by ourselves. How do we get it back by ourselves? When we are going to latch into the Shabbos of Chol Hamoed, that this Shabbos had a synthesis of the Mekadesh Yisrael Ba'Zmanim and also Mekadesh HaShabbos. It doesn't speak about Yisrael because it's Kibbutz V'Kaimei. We have an ability to put into our own koiches the Kedusha of Shabbos. That's what's special about this Shabbos. Now there's a question which the Mefarshim wrestle with, and I would like to just add an answer based on what we said to that idea. Mimacharas HaShabbos Tisperuch HaMishim Yom. Why is Pesach called Shabbos? Why didn't we just call Leil HaSeder Pesach, which is what it is? And there's all kinds of answers given to this question, but what's the answer to the question that I'd like to share with you tonight? Something very simple. The Leil HaSeder and Shabbos have something in common. There was a matana of Kedusha given to us, and our purpose is to take that matana of Kedusha and work on it, achieve, and rise to the occasion. All of us, and I think that all of us feel this in a certain sense. This Pesach, we were all in bidud, each in their own way and understanding of how alone and lost we are. There's a certain low that we feel. That's great, because that gives us the ability, like the Baal Tshuva, to restock, rethink, reappreciate that which we have. Our job this Shabbos, those who are not going to be hearing Kriyas HaTorah, Kriyas the Maftir, are supposed to know, yes, that's what's going on. We start off after the Chet HaEgel. But after the Chet HaEgel, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to be Moichel us, we have the ability to rise to new heights. Moshe Rabbeinu can ask, Hareini noes kvodecha. We could see the covenant of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, something that with Luchos Rishonos alone would have never been able to even be asked for. we now are in a situation which I think that we all feel that we have had lost favor in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and all of us, I think that when we said Hallel on the first day of Pesach, wherever we said it, on the Merpeset, not on the Merpeset, B'Yechidus, not B'Yechidus, everybody felt a strong urging, a yearning, a desire that we should be able to Mekadesh Hashem, Belel Tischadesh Chag, that we should come together and we should serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hareini Nas Kvodecha is something which we really feel today. And yes, even though we may have had our agendas and we may sometimes think of ourselves like those Atzomos Yaveshois that don't have any schusim, no, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells to the Navi, the Mesiras Nefesh that Klal Yisrael had, and I think that all of us in our kehilla, and all the Fruma Yidden in particular, this Pesach had an unbelievable amount of Mesiras Nefesh to come to the Leil HaSeder and to be happy with that which we have, the ability to Makayim those mitzvahs. Though how lonely it may be, for whatever reason it is, we were Sameach with the Chag, we added a little bit of Lachluchis. And just as those bones came together and were able to walk into Eretz Yisrael, all the fragments of Klal Yisrael, all of those people who were not Zaycha to have the Leil HaSeder, b'schus our Mesiras Nefesh, we should be Zaycha to infuse them with Lachluchis, and the Navi should come shortly and be Vivasar also the Gula Shleba B'mheira. Shall have a good Shabbos, and we shall have a good Yontif. The Mitzvah Hashem, we'll see you again for those Sunday night, Monday night, and the Mitzvah Hashem on Erev Yontif also.